Buddy the dog, what are you doing? Out ready to play? Well, it was nice and warm here, like almost 70 degrees, I think, yesterday. And now we're back towards the winter side of things. But Buddy don't care. He's happy no matter what the temperature is. But I got a project I want to work on in just a second. I think I laid my piece of metal over here, so yeah. So this is going to be the start to what we're going to do right after this. All right, welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man, and I'm waiting on parts for this 1020. They should be arriving anytime. Some of them will come today, some of them will come tomorrow, and then we can get back to that. But while it's here, we're going to use it as a pattern, as previously discussed. This tractor has the correct stuff on the hood still, that mine does not. So I'm going to take this back off a second so we can see, and then I'll show you what I got in my mind. But I think I can make something very similar to original to make mine work the right way. Or not. Or not. Dang. All right, as previously discussed, we discovered that what I am missing is this little reinforcement piece here, and then also my hood is broken off the piece that was folded over, which is unfortunate because that would be a nice way to anchor the front, would be to weld these two together. And I'm going to have to probably weld mine to the hood, which will probably burn through. I don't know. I do probably need to take another measurement and be sure that that this distance here is the same on mine. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but what it amounts to is that's the space that you need for this latch to swing in out of the way, because it works like, you know, swing there, and then once your other piece is over, it just captures this like it's on top of that. So very simple. I did some measurements, and I think what I had to have to make it work, this is going to be like, it had to be 1.5 inch angle iron. So like this is about 1 inch from, maybe slightly over, 1 1/8 to the bend, and then the rest of the way over would take that to where that was 1.5 inch. So that's kind of what I went by. So I got a piece of 1.5 inch angle iron. However, I don't think we can leave it, I don't know if we can leave that backside so tall. They did not, and I wonder if there's a reason for that. I wonder if it would interfere with the curvature of the hood, and that's why they didn't do it. I suppose we could do that part last. I quite honestly don't see any reason why that wouldn't work. I will have to cut this down because there's no way that that will it's got to be able to go against there, and I don't know that, I think it'll interfere with the latch if it's too much. So that's what I'm thinking. But see, if I have 1.5 inch, when I cut this loose, I'll have enough material to fold over. This, I'm going to have a lot of wasted material making this, but I wanted to try to make it out of one piece like the original, instead of doing 2 pieces and welding on. And if you're wondering like why is this here, I figured, I know why that's there now. It's so when you put those side screens in, they have some place to rest against, because mine, when you put them on, they're like all the way in against the fuel tank or whatever they hit next. So this is a way to keep them square with the hood and not let any trash in. So that's the plan. Now before I get going, I do want to go measure mine and make sure, because mine, I think it has a hole in here, almost like that's where it pulled the spot weld out. But my new plan to connect my whatever I make to the hood, I think is going to be to just bolt through that hole or whatever, and then I'll try to tack weld it wherever else I can along the way to make it work. But I need to make sure that this is really the length that I need, because I measured it, it's like 5 inches and something, 5.5 or so. But I might actually make it a little longer so I could get back to here and have maybe 2 potential places to anchor my piece. And I think that would make it more stable. I was thinking that I would probably use like rivets, you know, like pop rivets or something to hold this to this so that I don't lose the clearance here, because I need that for that screen to go through. But let's look at the other tractor. All right, probably can't see here, but if I go from, yeah, like 5.5 inches is about what that one is as well. But I'm thinking if I cut it, it's a 12-inch piece. So if I would cut it 6 inches, I have a little bit extra to stick past and make it go. But see, this is why that little tab's on there, because see how this is in there crooked now? If you had that tab, it would stay about like that. And then of course this hood would be down like this. So it would just hold things more square. So we're gonna copy what's in that other one first. We'll make a right and a left. And then from there, we'll decide how we wanna make it work on this hood and whatever. But it's gonna be a lot of cutting and wasting of material to get to this point where we're ready for this. I hope, yes, we cut it exactly at 12. So if I cut this in half, that will be our starting point. And then we'll go working from there. All right, if you're like me, you'll cut on the wrong side of your mark and your piece will be not much longer like you intended it, but a little bit. It'll be a little bit longer. And so what we're gonna have to do now is essentially trim the fat. You know, we need to trace where our stuff's gonna be, and then we'll figure out how deep it's gonna be. We can't just lay it on top or it won't come out right. I want to make marks where our cutout's gonna be for this deal. That piece goes away. Then I'm gonna have to figure out how. Alright, we're gonna try to, if we lay it in there, yeah. Alright, I've got some marks that you can't hardly see because I don't have the best marker, but I'm gonna cut away what I don't need. Alright, here's what I have so far. Let's see how we stack up with what's there. I think well, it looks like I got close to the right spot. This bend looks a little strange. Like, I guess they had a tighter bending machine than I do. But I don't know why that won't work. I could probably heat that and tap it a little bit better. But we're coming along here. The next thing I'll need to do is figure out how to put my slot in there. And then I'll probably also cut the back down a little bit. I don't know. I don't know that that really matters if the back's not perfect. You know, This won't be original. This will be like original, so I can do whatever I want. But see how they cut that at a taper? I don't really know why. I mean, maybe there was a reason, but I don't see it. But I think if I fix my bend just a little bit there, and then if I figure out how to cut my slot in it, we would be pretty good on that front. We'll have to then start on the other side. I don't know how hot this is really. Wouldn't think it's very hot, but yeah, there's nothing in there that would hurt anything, like up in this area, so I don't think I'm gonna cut that down. I think it'll be fine. We just need to get our slot right, and we might round the corners off on this a little bit to make it better. That's not quite cut square either, but we can fix that with a grinder. So I think in order to make a nice slot, what I'll probably do is drill holes, figure what size drill bit fits in that hole, and I'll drill 4 or 5 holes in this, and then maybe use the torch to blow out the connector pieces or something. I don't know, I'll figure it out, but you want a nice tight slot is what I'm trying to say, so that it stays on the thing without flopping around too much. So yeah. All right, let's test fit here. Before I dig my tractor out and start doing, that works pretty good. I would say that they made a slot so in case your hood didn't line up just perfect, and also as you're coming down at an angle, you would need more than just a precise hole, so that's good. All right, let's do a comparison. Yeah, mine's crude, but I think it'll work. It's slightly longer, so when I put it in there, I'll be able to hopefully attach it with maybe a couple things there, and then I'll squeeze it tight to this and try to tack weld it in a couple places. Maybe I ought to drill some holes in it and try to plug weld it. That would probably be the smart thing to do, but you think I'll do that thing? Probably not. But I would say that's a good number 1. So now we just have to do the exact same thing and opposite for the other side. And then once we get that one done, we can entertain thoughts of getting the other tractor out and trying to mount them on. I need to take a hay bale out though too before I tear it all to pieces, so I think that's, yeah. I'm going to get started on this other one. You don't need to watch the whole time, but I think I'll just pretend I haven't done it before and do that one just like I did this one. I'll take measurements off of this and try to get everything the right way, just in case they're a little different for some reason. But I like the progress I've made here because I think this is going to do it, and then that'll hold my hood down in the front finally. And the Deere store should have the things to hold the back down, because I ordered a whole bunch of stuff the other day, in which case we will finally have stuff back the way it's supposed to be. But I'll get started on that and I'll bring you back in a minute. All right, I now have a pair of these. I think I did better on the first one than I did on the second one, also because I didn't cut them evenly. One is a little longer than the other, but that doesn't matter. It'll just work that much better, right? So before we do anything with mine, we're gonna take out hay bales, and then we can pull that other hood off and try to figure out what we're gonna do. I think before I do any of that though, I'm gonna set this hood back on like I had it, just to keep weather off of it in case it rains or what have you. Like I said, hopefully the parts get here and we can start slapping this back together and turn it over into some green stuff that we can use to fund some of our projects. So, yeah. Well, it hasn't run in a couple days, so will it run today? I don't know. It should, but we'll find out. Probably need 2 hands. Gotta run the choke. I didn't turn around. We'll find out in a minute. I think I actually got it kind of in the center. I tore out more fence the other day in preparation of putting up new, and I never got back to it, so I don't know. They have easily wandered off. They could have done it the whole time, they just didn't realize it. But we're gonna hopefully get back to that project in a couple days or so. Giddy up, horsey. Oh, I see what's the matter. That's a problem. There. Chain was holding the clutch pedal. They would get that to lay flat, but I'm gonna do it. I can't. There we go. There we go. Well, there's one. Well, I was cutting the net wrap off this bale and wonder what kind of critter was living in there. This would have been backed up to that other bale, so raccoon maybe? I don't know, possum? Something was living in there. There's a perfect example. That piece will fix and make this sit like that again, instead of having that kink in it. So that'll be nice. Giddy up. Need to have a net wrap day where we pick up all our net wrap before it gets out of hand. Right here, this is a dry spot. my missions this year is to finally put rock down again, and perhaps also expand this opening. I really want it to be double gates so that if one side has a problem, you can switch to the other side. But also, my goal has been, I want to be able to take the biggest tractor and implement anywhere on this place. So if I have double gates here, then I'll be able to get all the way down there, through here, or wherever I need to go without going through any trees, which might potentially bust glass out of a cab or what have you. Back in the day when he set all this up, he set it up for the widest stuff that he had, but now my stuff is 3 times that size, so I'm trying to make it a little bit more better. Let's see if we can fit some brackets to this. All right, well, a fun thing has happened. You want to guess what that is? My 110 electricity is not working in my building, so I'll have to figure out what's going on there. But before we, this is probably a 2-hand job as well. I'm going to take that out of the way here and let it hang. And then I'm going to, it's probably a good time to, we need to pressure wash this one off too. Kind of dirty in there. But I want to just see what positioning my brackets are going to have to be. I think I can still see the outline of where they were. Yeah, that would be right in the center of the slot. And yeah, okay, so that's going to be fine there. I will understand that. Not that that was anything to you, but I'm just checking the positioning of how it's going to be, so I know where to weld these solid or whatever. Get off of there. There's that. I thought the other day that I was missing this. We'll put that on in a minute again. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah, that one actually has, almost has remnants of the one tab again, but yeah, they aren't fitting. What did they do? Increase in size? That's weird. Will rubber expand and get to be the wrong size for some reason? Because it seems like that's what happened to that. Well, let's take this hood off and work on it out here in the open. Now, we got a pretty good view. I think my hood is actually sprung out a little too much, so we're gonna have to push that in. Hopefully just one of these numbers. Sure. Probably should also fix the bent up brow again that's gotten run into stuff inevitably. But we need to figure out what we're gonna do here. All right, it even matches up kind of with what's left of the old one. I think I need to get another vice grip and pinch it right there to hold it tight to this hood, and then we can try to maybe stitch it together there and just see what we get out of it to make her go. All right, my plan is to just kind of stitch it together however I can with whatever I got left, and then I'd say we're going to be fine, because this is the remainder of the old tab, and you can even see where the outline of the slot was, and I'm in the right exact spot. So my copy is working. But I'm going to try to get this welded in there, and I'll do the other side or whatever, and then we'll test fit it on the tractor. But I think we're on the right track. That's what I'm saying. All right, of course it's starting to rain, you know, right when I was thinking about, you know, touch-up painting this. Unfortunately, I burned into the stickers. I first thought about not going that far, so that didn't happen, but after I saw how good it was stiffening this up, I decided to just full send it. These aren't the right stickers anyway, so I will, you know, address that later on. But I got it in there pretty good. There's a little piece that should be... Get off of there. Yeah. I'm very impressed with how it looks. Now we just got to see if it actually does what it's supposed to. So let's put you down and set the hood back on. And then I'll take it off again to paint it. But, you know, to paint the parts I welded anyway. Oops, I forgot to take the cap off. Fuel cap. Come on off of there, radiator cap. Radiator. Alright. How will you go together now? You should go together pretty nice. Another thing I thought of the other day that might need to be done is I think that fuel tank has a bolt that I could potentially center it up a little better if this is struggling. Let's see how we're doing with. Oh, we're not doing. There. That side's going. Oh, it's coming together. I even straightened that brow while I had it this far. Let's see. This has got to go in. It's too far down. Yes. I think that's got to come over. How are we doing there? Over and in. Something there is not quite kosher. I'm not sure what, but I think it's gonna work. Oh, let's put this in just to see. And then of course the first thing I do is pull it out of the, that goes in there, that goes there. Oh, sweet. Look at how that's square now. And this is held into there. Oh, it's working. This side I'm having a little trouble getting the latch to jump on. I might have to, I don't really know what I'll have to do. I can kind of feel behind there. I wonder if, actually I think I know what I could do. I'm wondering if this needs a little bit. It looks like it's dented in. If I did a little of that number right there. Look, well, did that work? Not yet. Probably should take the hood up to do this. It's so close. It's just not letting that go back there for some reason. Although it's still better than it was by a ton. Let's see. What could be our issue? There. There. Now let's put this one on and see what it looks like. That ain't down all the way. Come on. Ouch. That really hurt. Oh, look at that, friends. It's perfect. It holds it in tight. Even though I burned off part of the sticker, I am happy because that is way better than it's been for years. It holds that screen nice where it's not way too far in or in a twist, and it holds the hood tight to the tractor like it's supposed to be. It still ain't perfect, but for what I'm working with, it's pretty darn good. Yes, sir. I can't say enough good about that. I really like how that looks. Perhaps we need to wait a day. What I'm saying is, maybe we need to wait till a nice day to paint, and I can try to clean that up good and whatever. But I'm happy. That makes it so much nicer looking, and it'll probably save my hood from imminent destruction. I know years ago when I worked on this, all right, the GoPro died, so we're gonna finish here. But years ago, I took I don't remember what I had to do, work on the fuel tank. And I got to looking, and this whole front was caved in like a lot. It didn't have that rib in it anymore. I worked and worked to try to define that in it again to match the front. And my emblem is busted. I'd like to find an original emblem, which ain't an easy task. I've tried. The later ones were different, but I would like to have one that is right, because my lip is broken around most of here, and that's what holds it in. There's just a bar on the back, and I had to do some creative stuff to get that one to stay in there without rattling around. But yeah, I mean, it's coming along. I am way happy with how this is. It's a lot better than it was, and I think if I just take a day and get the old green paint, I'm doing two things at once here. Radiator's not the best. It should probably be replaced just because the cap won't stay on and it's getting rotten. But anyway, I think if I just wait till a day when it's nice weather, take that back off again and clean that stuff up and touch up paint where it's rusty so it doesn't rust is the only reason. I'm not concerned about the paint job because it's not very good anymore. That was a cheapo paint job that was put on there, again, to try to save it, you know. And it's not holding up good, but it did preserve what's here, so. But I'm super stoked. I think that's gonna be really nice. And when I get those things after a while, I think I'll run into town when I get back from the bus route and get my little bar I can bolt in on each side. My hood will be totally secure, which it has never been most of my life. So that's pretty cool. But I'm glad we had the other tractor here so I could finally see what was supposed to be there, because there just was no good pictures on the internet where you could see what was missing from the hood. So anyway, I'm going to leave this one here, and I'll bring you back sometime in the future. So until then, thanks for watching.